Xbox just showed PlayStation how the hell to have a showcase. This is a cow's opinion, and my opinion, I'm just going to tell you right at the beginning, is that the Xbox showcase that we just recently saw was amazing. Here on Video Games Chronicle, and we're not going to read the article. You can read Mr. John Hicks because he's a good writer. But we are going to use it as reference to make sure that I name all the amazing games, because just like he says in his article, after having to prove itself for years, Xbox doubled down and pulled it off, baby. That was a tight showcase. I was watching with a ton of friends on Discord, and it was so great. E3 is gone. Long live everybody else. Now, we all know that the Xbox is kind of in a third-place race among the console makers. PlayStation sells more consoles than they, and Nintendo doesn't even play the same game. They sit back, they make their Switch, and they count their money, and somehow Nintendo became the preferred third-party developer because you can put all of your games on a portable Switch. And meanwhile, PlayStation and Xbox are fighting out with their first-party AAA stuff, but we've seen now that AAA gaming is not a sure thing anymore because people are tired of bland stories, poor writing, massive budgets that don't really matter because games are beautiful even without $300 million and 4 years in development. Now, Microsoft's been trying to fix all this. We've talked about them acquiring Activision Blizzard, and they've amassed many other studios like Rare, and I can't even go through them all, guys. I'm not even going to try. You know, and the article admits right here, they have made a spirited effort, they receive a polite response, and everybody goes back to other platforms because that's where their friends are. The article also reminds us there's been mass layoffs, studio shutdowns to optimize this vast portfolio that Microsoft has assembled, that nobody forced them to build, fan outcry over the prospect of Xbox games appearing on other platforms, and recurrent whispers that maybe the Game Pass model isn't working out. After years of cultivating a reputation as the industry's most lovable exec, which is honestly, look, admittedly not a high bar, it's not. Phil Spencer is a good guy, and a lot of people like Phil Spencer, and from what I understand, he's a decent guy. And when you have the people like Bobby Kotick running every other place, it's not really hard to be the best in the room. But Phil Spencer lost his halo and was doubtless relieved to be a part of a pre-recorded showcase rather than fronting a live show that would have probably had jeering picketers outside. But despite all this, Xbox doubled down and pulled it off at a relentless speed through a dazzling array of games that would have been the talk of E3, an emphatic demonstration of the power both within Xbox studio lineup and the industry at large, and a long list of games to look forward to. My God, you could watch 5 PlayStation showcases, not have half as many games. I could literally see myself playing every single game Xbox. They had something for everybody, don't get me wrong, but all of the games looked polished, looked great, looked interesting, and I could see myself playing every single one of them. PlayStation, just a little mascot game at the end. Everything else was, So we're not going to go word for word, but I do want to talk about the games, so we'll use this as the order. And it started, as is law, that's just a good quote, Call of Duty. Call of Duty is now Xbox's new shooter because Halo lost its grip because for some stupid reason, they decided to retcon everything and add all this open world stuff. They put a bunch of stuff into Halo that nobody wanted. Kind of like how the TV series is just not that good. And I'm hopeful that Halo can find its shine again. But Call of Duty is here, and look, it doesn't matter if you think it's overhyped. It doesn't matter if you're not going to play it. It's going to sell millions and millions of copies and make billions and billions of dollars, guys. It's going to be Call of Duty Black Ops again. And it's going to be fine. And look, they even said that it's going to be... Here's something I did like what they said about Call of Duty. PlayStation's been paying to be like early betas, early maps and everything. And Xbox is like, that time is over. It's going to be on Game Pass. It's going to be on PC. It's going to be on Xbox. It's going to be PlayStation. It's going to be everywhere day one. No one is going to get to pay for early access anymore. And I honestly think that's the right move for Call of Duty. Instead of... You could easily make Call of Duty like your thing. if you wanted to, but they didn't. Then we had Bethesda, and my God, it was Doom: The Dark Ages, and holy crud, that game looked great. I mean, it was fantastic. They had cool weapons. The guy's going to be in a giant mech. I'm not even much of a Doom player. I might play Doom. We also had, and this is not in order, but Machine Games. Sorry, the stupid thing just suddenly blanked out on me for some stupid reason. But we're back because Machine Games had an extended trailer for Indiana Jones. An extended trailer for Indiana. The benefits of doing this on no budget. I'm sorry, guys. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle had a really good commitment to the Indiana Jones legacy and its aesthetic. And let me tell you something. Troy Baker has nailed the voice. I honestly thought it was Harrison Ford at first. I was like, oh, that, you could kind of tell. He had it like 85% of the way the first trailer. And it's like, oh, well, that's okay. Harrison Ford's older. The guy probably doesn't want to be, doing this kind of stuff. No, in this trailer, you could not tell it was not Harrison Ford. Troy Baker is the man. He nailed that voice. And it freaking looks like an Indiana. You're basically just going to be playing an Indiana Jones movie, fighting Nazis. That's all the better Indiana Jones movies. That's what we want, so I'm looking forward to it. Starfield got the and you can play it today treatment because they had a bunch of new features, but they also revealed their first expansion, Shattered Space, which is, I guess it's going to their Cult of a Snake. I didn't play Starfield. It's going to their Cult of the Snake that they have. Is that thunder? My God, doing this live is a bad idea. And it looks really fantastic. Now, we had Elder Scrolls and Fallout going with their regular stuff on Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online. Fallout 76 says you can now play as a Gore, which is probably a nice little thing now that Walter Goggins, as the article notes, is playing probably the most beloved character in their new TV show. And Elder Scrolls, look, I hear nothing but positive stuff, so it's their 10-year anniversary. Good for them. We also got Obsidian's Avowed, which looked beautiful. Wonderful. It's basically just another studio doing their version of an Elder Scrolls game. If you like Elder Scrolls, you're probably going to love Avowed. We had a beautiful trailer for the next iteration of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, it looks gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's pristine. If you know an airport in real life, you can go to that airport in the game. You can get into whatever you want to fly, and you can fly to wherever you want to go. You can literally do that in this game. It's fantastic. We had actual gameplay from Compulsion's Southern Fried Fantasy South of Midnight. It uses kind of that like frame skipping animation style that the first Spider-Man Miles Morales movie did, which I'm kind of hit or miss on, but the gameplay does not use that. It only does it for cutscenes. The gameplay, actual smooth gameplay, it looks good. Looks really good, guys. There was only a trailer for it, but State of Decay 3, which was, it was a beautiful cutscene. I have no idea if anything in the cutscene actually matters in the game. It was more of an announcement trailer, but, State of Decays have been pretty good, so I'm going to give them the benefit of a doubt. And building a little colony in the middle of survivors and then running around doing stuff is always fun when you're surrounded by zombies and beating them with baseball bats and pistols. So, look, I'm looking forward to it. Fable is the one that I'm like, look, I love Fable games, but I'm a little worried about. We've only ever seen trailers. It was a really funny trailer, as is the Fable, sense of humor and everything, but I haven't seen any actual gameplay, so I'm going to hold my opinion on Fable until we actually see how it plays. But we got to actually see how Perfect Dark plays. Not only after years of waiting did we have beautiful cutscene stuff, but they showed actual gameplay. And it was really cool to see a modern take on... If you've never played any of Johanna Dark's adventures, listen. It's kind of hard to describe. You have to use a bunch of spy tools. You can do melee stuff and you can do gun stuff. It's all first person. So it's kind of more espionage and technical fighter than it is just Call of Duty. But it's really great. And oh my god, you guys, we have one more thing to show you from Microsoft. Gears of War E-Day with a younger Marcus Phoenix. Oh my god, you guys. We're going back to the beginning at Gears of War. We're going to actually play the beginning of the COG versus the evil underground oppressors, and it's going to be so much. Looking forward to Gears of War. Looking so forward to Gears of War. Hell yes. I think that all the games are great. The fourth game, Gears of War 4, was fun, but it was, it felt like it was missing something because they tried to like revive the same enemies from the first one. I don't know if I quite believe that. And then Gears of War 5. Listen. Gears of War 5, the main character was amazingly played by a talented voice actress, Laura Bailey. She did a fantastic job. The problem with Gears of War 5 was it was all about finding the mystery of her character's origin and where she comes from. But you already know at the end of Gears of War 4, it shows the necklace thingy she's wearing, and you're like, oh, that's the symbol of the evil people. That means that all the couple of human guys, she's related to them, and she's from them, and this is how it connects. And then Gears of War 5 didn't have any major revelation, so it was like, and it makes you make a terrible, stupid plot choice at the end of the game, for God knows what reason. And you're just sitting there, and you're like, this is fun, but not really, this is not worth of a game. We're not really advancing the story of the war anymore that you started in 4, and we're finding out stuff like the characters in Gears of War 5 did not understand what the player already knew. And you can do that. You can pull that off, but it's hard, and I just don't feel like they got it. And obviously, they decided to go back to earlier in the Gears of War. So I would love to play more Gears of War in the earlier setting of Emergence Day. I think it's going to be really fun. But that was all what Microsoft had. We had a beautiful amount of third-party showing. They had Dragon Age, the Veilguard trailer, which was very good. Nobody knew why they went... They had a really cool name, and they changed it to Veilguard, and nobody knows why. Also, Dragon Age has always been a little more bloody and gritty. This one was more like colorful, lighthearted Dungeons and Dragons thing, which... I don't think you should have done that. I think you should have stayed with your aesthetic. It still looked good, but we'll have to wait and see. We had confirmation on Assassin's Creed Shadows with its... Look, guys, it's Assassin's Creed. I hope it does well, but they've all played the same. And I'm just, look, it would look like a fun game, and I would probably play it, but, We had really good footage and teasers for Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, and Stalker 2, adding more great games to this year. We have a new Life is Strange double exposure as the wonderful Max, main character of the very first Life is Strange, comes back. She's got another mystery death to solve, and honestly, I think that's the best Life is Strange has done when you're trying to solve and or prevent a mystery death. They've done... other stuff, and it's kind of hit or miss, and at times there were very, very, very obvious political messages in some of them, and I personally don't mind political messages, but I understand people who don't want their entertainment to be that way. I think they're just going back to what they were really best at with that. They also have another game from another studio called Mixtape, which seems to be just coming-of-age teenagers doing crazy things. So, those, I know people are like, well, nobody's going to play those games. Lots of people play those types of games, guys. It's important to show that kind of stuff along with Gears of War and Veilguard and Doom, okay? We saw Mecha Break, which just looked amazing. It looked as chaotic as any Gundam anime final battle should be. And Fragpunk is also there. Multiplayers, really great stuff. Fragpunk looked a little, it's yet another hero shooter. This one has the innovation where you have cards, and the cards change the rules of the game. So not bad, but I don't know if the market can actually support another hero shooter. I was blown away by this next one, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Go watch that trailer. Oh man, it is a turn-based RPG, but like in, say, like it's an evolution of the Super Mario RPG style, where you have like inputs to block and attack and move and shoot during your turn. It's a beautiful trailer. Go watch it. Came out of nowhere. Never heard of this game until I saw that trailer. Had every single one of us going, oh, it's just another Souls. Wait, this is a turn-based RPG that moves like, what the hell am I looking at? Fantastic. We also got a remake of Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is just, Solid Snake back in his Cold War days, but my God, it looks beautiful. And I don't know if Konami can do anything new in the Metal Gear franchise after they got rid of Kojima. Now, the article talks about some misses, but honestly, I thought Winter Burrow, which is a cozy little Minecraft-esque home builder, looked really good. And adding to a list of ring monstrosities, and I don't know why he's listing as a miss. I thought, it's a change of pace, but it looks really good. Age of Mythologies remake is coming out and looks really good. I'm probably going to play that on PC, though. I think it's an RTS, and aside from the Halo RTSs, which had to, reinvent how you use a controller to control them on a console, look, you want to play RTS with a mouse and keyboard, you just do. And, yeah, look, how much is this going to help Xbox sales? I don't know. They have Game Pass, and you can play stuff on PC, too. But anyone who said and thought that Xbox is dead, no, my friends. Xbox came back with a freaking vengeance. And it was beautiful to see, guys. We also had a bunch of other third-party stuff. I think there was there were a ton of games. And I don't think, but a lot of them were third-party, just teaser and stuff. Those are all the main, huge highlights. Wu Chen Falling Feathers seems to be a Chinese mythology Souls. It looked good. I mean, there's just so much stuff. The article ends with some minor gripes and speak to a showcase of harking back to the classics. Dazzling run of the new exciting, a mix of known brands and new ideas, at least a handful of them in months. Now again, I don't know if it's going to sell a bunch of Xboxes in the immediate future, because Xbox really wants Game Pass. And we can't forget that, Jesse Cox actually had a tweet that said, well, I guess it was, I don't think he was trying to be a jerk about it. He was like, well, when you imagine that Xbox has bought so many studios, it makes sense that they have so many great games. But look, the fact of the matter is we have great games, and that's really all I care about. So guys, what did you like most at the Xbox Showcase? What was the game that made you say, yes, day one? Let me know in the comments below. And you know what else you can do? You can play more games, because games are awesome and you deserve awesome. And I'll see you next time.